Hey, hi friends. Um, okay, in this video, we will talk about network load balancer. Why do we need a network load balancer, and what is the difference between the previous load balancer and this? And in the previous videos, I had explained completely on a complete demo, the basic demo on application load balancer and classic load balancer. So in this video also, I'll be explaining about network load balancer and how to do a basic configuration checks. So that is first point. And the next point is we did not cover the VPC services yet. So far, we have covered in the AWS series, we have covered only the IAM and currently EC2. And inside the EC2, we are going through, load balancers. And after the load balancers, we will be talking about auto scaling and couple of other things in the EC2. The next one we will go through one by one services, but there would be a service which we call it as VPC, which is the backbone of the infrastructure in AWS. So all the AWS guys, especially the solution architect guys, should know that configuration and how to create a custom VPC. I mean, a lot of things are there. So when I'll be explaining about the VPC, maybe in a couple of videos after, at that time we may be doing one more exercise with respect to the network load balancer. But for today, I will be talking the basics, only the basics. Okay, so just remember that. Cool. So let's jump into the load balancer concept. Before that, let me log into my console here. Okay, and I'm gonna log into my ID. Sorry, one moment. Oops. Okay, interesting. Now it's working. Cool. The next one is I'm gonna log into EC2. And as usual, I'm gonna launch three instances. So for now, I'm just hitting on launch instances, free tier only. I'm using Amazon Linux to AMI. Select so T2 Micro and then configure. I'm making it as a 3. Scrolling down, and I'm gonna type in the scripts which we normally use it. I hope you guys are having this already. So right, next, add storage. I'm keeping it normal. I'm not gonna add any tab. I'm gonna choose my app security group, and in this security group I have open all the ports TCP 80. Okay, I've given some source. Maybe this is a load balancer security group. I will edit it later. And I'm also giving TCP 22 review and launch, and then launch it. So I acknowledge. Okay, cool. So let the instance come up. We will just wait. It's still in pending mode. Okay, now it became running now. Okay, cool. Now I'm gonna give some names for this. So app 1, and then app 2, and then app 3. Okay, so we have three apps running. So each app is running on the same availability zone because I did not choose anything exclusively. As you see, if you really want to use one instance in one availability zone, I think you have seen this in my previous videos on how to do that. Please watch that. Okay, cool. Now I have three instances running, which is really good. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take one IP of this, and I'm gonna open a public IP, and I'm gonna type http:// okay. It's not pinging. Why it is not pinging? Because if you see the security group of this of instance, I'm hitting on down and then I'm hitting security group. There is a security group here. Click on the security group. It's open now. Okay, so this is a load balancer security group. So only the traffic which should be coming through the load balancer, only then it will accept. Okay, but for now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it anywhere IPv4. Okay, let me delete this one, add rule, and then I'm gonna add HTTP anywhere IPv4. I hope you guys know this already, all these things. If not sure, please do recheck my old videos on the security group. Cool. So now if you enter, if you refresh it, yes, you're getting it because I have allowed all the traffic directly from anywhere, from all the source, from all the IPs, okay, on the HTTP 80 port. So HTTP always operates on 80 port, okay. Cool. Now what is next? So we have three instances, yeah. So click on instances. So we have three instances. Let me let me open this instance. HTTP. Enter. Okay. So we are getting the direct traffic to all the three instances. HTTP colon slash slash. I'm sorry. Enter. Yes. So we're getting we're getting instances, I mean, we're getting traffic reply from all the three instances directly. Yeah, which is good. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a load balancer for network load balancers. So, create load balancer. Well, before I talk about network load balancer, so network load balancer is nothing but it is used to, okay, let me take my whiteboard. Okay, cool, great. Okay, so what network load balancer does is NLB network load balancer. So network load balancer, it just forwards, okay, forwards TCP and UDP traffic. Remember, TCP and UDP traffic to your EC2 instances. This is what it does primarily, okay. The advantage of NLB is NLB handles millions of transactions per second, okay, millions of requests per second. So it handles millions of requests per second. So basically, if your application needs really high performance, then you can go for NLB, but NLB is kind of costly. And since it is highly performance oriented, the latency is really, really less. So it has less latency. Okay. So which is approximately 100 milliseconds. That's it. Wherein for ALB we have 400 milliseconds for ALB. In my previous videos, I explained about application load balancer. For that, 400 milliseconds is the latency, less I mean, but comparatively, NLB is really, really less latency. Okay, so if you really want extreme performance, go for it. This is one thing. And the next thing is it is not included in any AWS free tier. Okay, this will come with a cost and it is very high. Okay, so that is a network load balancer for you. And now I'll just show you what exactly are we talking about, how the diagram is going to look right now for you. So here we go. So this is, for example, this is our load balancers. Okay, sorry for the diagram. So this is like NLB network load balancer. So we are just one guy, two guy maybe. So you're just hitting the load balancer with the TCP port and TCP port. And what happens is, so we are going to create the same kind of target groups where we created for application load balancer also. So for example, this is target group 1 and this is target group 2. Okay, so this one will try go here and this will go here as per your target group rules, which I explained to you in a previous application. Okay, so this is the same diagram which we are going to do right now. Okay, and so let's go for it. Let's see what all the various things we can configure. Okay, so I'm gonna slightly jump away. And how I came to this screen is I was in EC2 here, and then if you remember, we have three instances running, which is good: app 1, app 2, and app 3. I'm clicking on load balancers. Okay, now there is no load balancers running. Target groups, there is no target groups for me. I'm hitting on load balancers, clicking on create load balancer, and here the network load balancer, it clearly gives you a diagram on which protocol it's working. Okay, so if you see the application load balancer, it was working on HTTP and HTTP. Just remember that it might come for an interview. I mean, interview or your certification question. But for network load balancer, it's working on TCP, UDP, and TLS. Okay, so just click on create, and also here it's clearly mentioned when you need ultra high performance. Yeah, so when you need this, you can go for it, and also capable of handling millions of requests per second. So these are all the keyword for your certification questions. Yeah, and then I'm hitting on create, and I'm going to give some name here for my network load balancer. So I'm just going to give my network load balancer, and then I'm going to make it as an internet facing. Okay, and then IPv4 I've chosen, and network mapping, and then AP South 1A, and then AP. I'm just including all my subnets here, and then here I'm gonna move the TCP port 80 to some target group. I don't have any target groups mentioned, so I'm hitting on target group, and I'm gonna hit instances here. So here the target group is my network low LB TG1. Okay, and for this demo purpose, I'm gonna add all the instances here. So okay, and okay, hyphen next. Okay, and I'm gonna hit okay, first two instances I'm adding. Let's see. Okay, cool, create target group. Okay, the target group is created. I'm going back to the first tab. I'm refreshing my screen, refreshing this page, and then I got the my network LBTG1 here. Scroll down, and you can add more listeners here. Okay, if you keep on adding listener, the port number, you can't use the same port number. Okay, if your application is trying to, I know if your application is using 81 on TCP, then you can use it here. If you want some other port, you can use it. Okay, I'm going to remove it for now. Then scrolling down, create load balancer. Load balancer is created. That's it. Okay. View load balancer. It will be in provisioning mode, and in couple of minutes it will be in active mode. Okay, let's see whether it's became active. Okay, it's not yet active. Okay, so till it becomes active, let's say. So we had created a network load balancer successfully, and we got the DNS name. And we will talk about DNS. What is this A record? What is DNS when we are talking about DNS and Route 53 service? Hence this is still in provisioning, and this is a network, and this is a internet facing. Okay, which means that it will be accepting the traffic from the internet public. Okay, and in the listeners we are getting all the traffic on 80, and then we are forwarding to a target group. Okay, which is nothing but this is a target group. Okay, so now if you hit on target groups here, okay, just scroll down, just hit on it is still in initial. If you remember, in the last video we did the same exercise when we created the target group for application load balancer. So we created the same here, and it will take based on the health checks, based on this health checks here, advanced based on these health checks combinations, so it will verify, and then it will make it healthy. Okay, right now it is in initial phase, it is still trying to register. Target registration is in progress, and then it will become healthy in next couple of minutes. This is one thing. Yeah, and let me go back to load balancer. Let me see whether it's refresh or not. Okay, still it is in provisioning mode, and rest of the things we have monitoring for your load balancer. Also for target group also we have monitoring. So we have different charts, unhealthy hosts, healthy hosts, everything. So that is one thing. So let's wait for this to come up active. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's become active now, and let me also check in target group whether instances became active or not. I'm still waiting for the instances to come up. It is still in initial phase. It's still in registration is in progress because I've given 30 seconds for even if you see health checks here, and then if you hit on edit advanced health settings, so I've given the interval for 30 seconds, so it will do 3 into 30, 3 threes are 9, so it will approximately do 1.5 minutes or 90 seconds. Okay, just to see the interval. Okay, so let's wait. Okay, yeah. So now it's became healthy, which is good. Two became healthy. If you go to targets here, so two became healthy. Yeah. And if you go to monitoring here, let's see what does the chart says. Chart is not having any data yet. Okay, no problem. So, okay, just give me a minute. Okay, so if you see our load balancer is up, which is active, and I'm copying the DNS name here, copying it, and I'm gonna paste it here, http://enter. Okay, see, here we go. So network load balancer, it keeps on refreshing, 201 millions of transactions. So after a couple of seconds, it should move to a different IP for sure. Ah, one moment, 201, 170.31.9.201. It did not enable the stickiness yet. Let me open a different window. Okay. Okay, now it is changed. 83 became changed to 83. Okay, cool. So it's working. The NLB DNS is working, but this is really not the use case actually. The only thing why I tried and showed this to you is just to kickstart how the network load balancer you guys can create it. But the real use case, I would say, let me explain you in the real time scenario. What happens is the network load balancer and ALB will go hand in hand. Okay, so I'll tell you how it goes here. So for example, so here one guy is trying to access to your network load balancer. This is NLB. Okay, and then we will have something called application load balance, so you have to put it like this, ALB. Okay, then you have a target group here, TG1. Then you have another target group called TG2. Okay, so we can try this way. So you can put this NLB here in a public subnet. I mean, I know I didn't talk about the subnets yet. I will talk about this during the VPC section, and the entire ALB, I'll be putting all these things in a private subnet. So what happens is public means anybody can access, so that's why I'm putting this NLB here, and private subnets only via NLB it can access. Okay, so this is one thing. So ALB, I'll make it like an internal load balancer, and this one I'll make it like an internet load balancer. But for this demo, the best I think I can do is just created one network load balancer and I did this setup. Maybe in the next video I'll talk about this setup. But I really don't have a private subnet right now. I'll talk about I will do the same demo with extensive components when I'm talking about VPC. But for now, this is more than enough to understand how to create a network load balancer on all those things. Yeah. Thank you.